Everybody wants to stand up.
All these going to do social media.
Kind of squeeze in here. All right, you gonna get anything? Just leave the camera right there. All right. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. All right, there you go. All right, the reason I wanted to take a photo because I'm gonna put that out on my social media channel of choice.
Ken's going to talk about, but he hosts a social media discussion weekly.
Weekly, yeah.
On ticketing in the industry, and pretty cool thing. So
Let's take a little, before I get going, let's take a little strong poll. What's the social media channel of choice for you guys? Twitter. Wow, that's Instagram? No? Facebook? Done, right? And LinkedIn. You guys are all on LinkedIn. You guys all seniors? Juniors? All right, great. Here's the thing about, before I kind of get into my history and what I've done in the sports industry, here's the thing about social media and about managing your personal brand on social media now. You pretty much have to assume that anything you put out on social media, the world's going to see at some point. So with that, you want to be smart about what you put out and what kind of content you put out. You want to think about that everybody that's looking at your social media presence online, that's your first impression for a potential getting into school, right? That's a big player right now when you go to college, right? People are looking at your social media profiles and they're admitting you whether you're smart or not smart at times. And then obviously getting a job as well. So that would be my advice about social media. Make sure that you're really on top and on point on what you're putting out, and make sure that you assume that everybody's going to see it. So be really smart with that. Again, Neil and I go way back. So I have been on the team, ticket sales, marketing side of the business for 20 of my 21 years in the sports business. I went to Texas A&M, got my undergrad in sports management. I was kind of an outlier, maybe that I knew exactly what I wanted to do, that I wanted to work in the sports business when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. I wanted to play baseball, but my career, my talent didn't get me anywhere past junior college. But I grew up in Los Angeles, the 1984 Olympics. I was in high school. I was a freshman, I guess, in high school. And Peter Uberoff was the president of the Olympic Committee, and then he went on to become baseball commissioner. Me being a big baseball guy, I knew who Peter Uberoff was. He became baseball commissioner. That was my first thing that said, man, I can work on the business side of the sports business. So, and I will tell you, one thing about working in the sports business, I think everybody that does it will tell you this, is that it's different every day, and it's great with that because it allows different challenges. And most people, generally speaking, 90% are very passionate about what we do and why we do it, and that's what we're in the sports business for. And I would encourage you to find your passion and go for that passion. I have so many friends that are, punch the clock, do their job, go home, and they're, same thing every day, and they're not very happy with it. So I have people come to me like every day, like, hey, you work in the sports business, how great is that? I mean, it's so cool that you're doing exactly what you want to do. I have a friend from college, the very first time I met him, I said, yeah, I'm going to work for a baseball team, and he tells me that story every time I see him. So my background a little bit, I went to Texas A&M for sports management because at that point it was one of the only 25 programs or so in the country. Now there's 97 or 98 programs, I believe. It's the latest count. Here's what I would say about getting a sports management degree and getting a business degree or a marketing degree or something like that, that's going to give you a little bit of a leg up. Now, when I look at a resume to hire somebody, I don't necessarily care if you have a sports management degree or not, but the advantage that you're going to get by getting a sports management degree is you're going to have you're going to learn a lot of practice. There's a lot of schools now that are very targeted and giving you the skill sets that you truly need to work in the sports business. Like Baylor is teaching kids how to sell tickets. They have a call center, and they, in their junior year, get on the phone and make sales calls. Texas A&M is doing this now too. There's a lot of different schools that are really targeted in teaching the kids what they need to do. But I will also look at someone who has a marketing degree or a business degree. The difference is that I have a lot more connections with professors and people that are running sports management programs. So I have a lot more resumes coming to me that are getting referred to me. That's really the key, I think, to getting your foot in the door in the sports business, is getting referred from somebody that you've met or know or somebody that runs your program in school or something like that. So that's your advantage if you're going to go to school to get a sports management degree. I would also encourage you to pick a sports management program, pick a school for the sports management program and what it can get to you and what it can help you with. I also have my master's in sports admin from Ohio University, which is the oldest and #1 sports management program in the country, in the world, first one ever. It was started by Peter O'Malley, who used to own the Dodgers way back in the day. He started the sports management program in Ohio. It's the oldest program. That program there is very extremely. If you look at the roster of people that work in the sports business, it is who's who of different people in different jobs and different teams and things like that. And being an Ohio Bobcat is very much everybody. It's called the Green Mafia. Everybody takes care of everybody, within the mafia. So that would be an excellent place to go to undergrad or to go to grad school in my place, in my example. But I will tell you, there is absolutely no benefit in my eye from going from undergraduate right to grad school to get a graduate degree in sports management. Your hardest part of working in the sports business is getting your first job. I came up in the ticketing world, which is a avenue that's open. If you want to work on a team, for a pro team, the ticket sales side is probably where 75 or 80% of the folks are going to come in at. Now you get a job, and then you do a good job, and then you branch out into other areas of the department, other areas of the organization. But to get that first job, you got to be willing to go anywhere. So I, for example, went my first 3 years. I started with the Houston Astros for $5 an hour as an intern, which is not even minimum wage anymore, right? And then I went to Tyler, Texas, Bellingham, Washington, Greenwood, South Carolina, and back to the Texas Rangers. I wound up being at the Texas Rangers for 12 years. We had the same owner in 1998. Tom Hicks bought the Rangers and owned the Stars, or 99 actually, owned the Stars, bought the Rangers, merged our businesses together, so we did both hockey and baseball for a few years, broke the departments back apart. I stayed on the Rangers side, baseball side. I wound up being senior director of ticket sales, overseeing the ticket sales for groups and season sales for the Rangers until 2008. As Mr. Frederick said.
They've called me worse today already.
All right. As the big guy said, I started my own consulting. I went out, basically just through relationships that I had, worked for the Atlanta Braves, the New York Giants. Jim Lights, who used to be the president of the Stars, and now again is the president of the Stars, brought me up to New York to help with the New York Giants when they moved into the new football stadium. And then I most recently was in Phoenix with the Coyotes for the last 2 years, for 18 months, 20 months, running their sales department. I've been back in Texas. I'm making now the transition to the agency side. To close the loop on my school, after 19 years from undergrad, I went back to grad school and got my master's in Ohio. And having a gap, I'm not saying you need 18-year gap, but if you have a 4, 5, 6, 8-year gap between undergrad and grad school, you really, really understand what you're learning and why it's important and how you can use it in your job every day. It's only going to make you better at your job. So that's what I would encourage you. When I look at a resume and someone has their master's and they went right from undergrad to grad school, I don't really look at that. I look at your experience and what you have in your experience. So with that, what kind of experience, the question I get often is, what kind of experience can I do now to put me in a position to get a job in the sports business? It's never too early to start learning what the fan likes about and doesn't like about attending live games. So everybody in here should be working. I would get a summertime job at the Frisco Rough Riders, at the FC Dallas, the Allen Americans, any local minor league, even major league or major team in your market. Work for them during the summer while you're in school right now. You can work in parking, you can work as an usher, you can work in guest relations, anything that kind of deals front of the house with the fan. That's going to give you good practical experience and start to learn to understand what people like and don't like about attending your games. That's going to make you better as you go forward, especially once you get to college. Depending on where you go, if it's a big enough school that has big programs, go work. I'm not asking you to give up your Saturday football fandom watching, as a student, But I was down in College Station the other day, actually on Sunday, and they had the SEC Tennis Championships. And I was like, what a great opportunity for someone to work a tennis venue and just start to meet and interact with fans, guest relations, find out what those people, complain about and how you can fix their problems. It's a great way to start to build that knowledge base. Then you're going to have, when your resume, when you start